everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Coming at you from my floor. I just got a book outlet order this afternoon, so I figured now is a great time to do a haul video because my last haul video was at the end of January and it is now the middle of May. So we've got some stuff to go through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with February, and you'll see how I progressed in just getting worse and worse at my goal of buying 5 books a month, because February went great and then it kind of all went downhill from there to where we are now. So let's get into this. We'll need some of this. So first up, February Book of the Month books. I selected The Holdout by Graham Moore. I got Ink in the Blood by Kim Schmeakel. I don't know. This is one that John's also interested in reading. And then You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I just read this actually this past week. It was really good. Stay tuned for my May wrap up to hear more of my thoughts, or watch my vlog that should be coming out either before or right after this video to see more thoughts on this, but enjoyable. And then the only other 2 books I bought in February were Thunderhead and the Toll by Neal Shusterman, which I got after devouring Scythe. Have I read these yet? Nope. Then we move to March, and March wasn't horrible. So in March, I got from Book of the Month, Hour of the Assassin by Matthew Quirk, The Kingdom of Bach by Marie Lu, and A Good Neighborhood by Therese Ann Fowler. Then, right before actually all of the stuff hit the fan with the virus, John and I went and visited his mom, and we went to this like pretty well-known bookstore here in Connecticut that is close to her house, and we made some purchases there. I purchased Out of the Easy, and then John and I purchased Circe. He read this. He loved it. His mom borrowed it. She read it. She loved it. I have yet to read it. And then his mom bought Salt to the Sea and then gave it to me. This was after I had already read it at that point, and I told her she should read it, and she gifted it to me after she finished, so I had a copy. And then I placed an order on Amazon for 2 books that I wanted to read. And I have read both of these, so that's good. And that was An Ale of Two Cities, which is book 2 in the Literary Pub Mystery Series, and Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think I gave this 5 stars and this like 4.5 stars, so really, really good. Loved them both. Then we move into April. And April, I still was like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. Like, I can't really go anywhere and, like, go browse bookstores, so I should be okay. So I did my Book of the Month order, and I selected Beach Read. Just read this month. 5 stars. Loved it. I selected The Guest List by Lucy Foley and Valentine by Elizabeth Wentmore. April had some really, really good selections. Like, of the 5 books, like, I wanted 4 of them. So April was a good Book of the Month. So I purchased these. Then I wanted to read for the Wine and Cheese reading social that Rainey co-hosted in April. I wanted to read a very specific book, but I didn't have it, and I couldn't check it out from the library because everything's closed. So I purchased on Amazon Carrot Cake Murder by Joanne Fluke, which I ended up not even reading this for the Wine and Cheese reading social because I realized that there was a novella before this one that I owned, so I ended up reading that. But I have since read it earlier this month, and of course I loved it because I love this series. So then, I don't know, early to mid-April, I watched one of Books and Lala's videos where she was talking about her literally dead book club picks, and she said that one of them was available on Book Outlet. So I was like, I have a place to Book Outlet order in probably months at that point. I went to go look on Book Outlet to see if this one book that Books and Lala talked about was on there, and it was not available anymore. I watched the video probably like a week after she posted it, and they were sold out by that point. But while I was on Book Outlet and realized that everything was 15% off, I made a Book Outlet purchase. And I got Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 2 in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I got Here's to Us by Ellen Hildebrand. The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrand. And Winter Stroll by Ellen Hildebrand. I got Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. The Case for Jamie by Brittany Cavallaro, which is book 3 in the Charlotte Holmes series. I got The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This comes recommended by my sister-in-law. She told my mom that my mom should read it, and I was on that group text. So I happened to be literally staring at the book on Book Outlet's website when that text came through. So I was like, it's less than $4. I'll go ahead and buy it. So I did. And then I purchased Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. So that was April. So you can see that I'm getting like worse and worse as the months go on. So now here we are, middle of May. And it's going downhill quick, guys, because at the moment I have, I think, like 4 or 5 books sitting in my Amazon shopping cart right now that I'm really trying not to purchase. So far, so good, but it might happen. And so it's May 16th, the day that I'm filming this, and here's what I have purchased so far in May. So we have my book of the month selections for May, which is A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCrate, which has been getting like really good reviews. Actually, Becca Kufrin, who was one of the Bachelorettes, I was watching her Instagram stories and she just read this and she was raving about it. So I'm excited to get to this. And I got All Adults Here by Emma Straub and The Paris Hours by Alex George. This was the other book from April that I wanted to get, but you can only get 3 books at a time. So got this. Then the Book Outlet order I received today. Let's dive in. So we have Beyond a Reasonable Doubt and The Pint of No Return by Ellie Alexander, which is books 2 and 3 in the Sloane Krause mystery series. I read Death on Tap sometime last year. I think it was last year. Loved it. Saw that these were on Book Outlet. Had to get them. So purchased those. Then I got Laura Ingalls is Ruining My Life by Shelley Tugis. I saw this at the library, actually, probably like November, December, and cracked up at the title and almost checked it out, but didn't. And maybe it was only in March or February that I saw this. I don't know. I don't know when I saw it. Doesn't matter. But I saw it at the library, loved it, cracked up at the title, and saw that it was on Book Outlet and decided to purchase it because just this title, like, I can relate to. Not that Laura Ingalls ever ruined my life, but as we all know, I grew up with a mother who loves Laura Ingalls, and a lot of our family vacations centered, not a lot of our family vacations, but we had family vacations that centered around Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I'm excited to read this because I think it'll be a fun, cute read. Then all of the remaining books are purchased as a result of me going to the mystery section of Book Outlet and just seeing what they had. And it probably took me like a good hour to go through all of the books that they had on Book Outlet, because not all of them said in the description, or like in like the first, like the page that you see as you're just scrolling through all of the options, if they were the first books in series or not. So I had like my Book Outlet tab open and I had Goodreads open and was just going back and forth. And basically I just purchased a bunch of like first books in series. And most of them are like cozy mysteries. Assuming that I did my research correctly, most of these should be first books in series. So we have Murder Knocks Twice by Susanna Calkins, Maplecroft by Sherry Priest. I'm really excited about this because I think this series follows like Lizzie Borden, which is very interesting to me. So we'll see if this is good. We have A Death of No Importance by Mariah Fredericks, City of Lies by Victoria Thompson, Whispers Beyond the Veil by Jessica Estevao. I don't know how to say her last name. Fatal Inheritance by Rachel Reese. And this is a bind-up of 3 novels by Reese Bowen. It's Her Royal Spyness, A Royal Pain, and Royal Flush. And then the last 2 books I purchased are also like mysteries, but not necessarily cozy mysteries. I don't think they would classify as cozy mysteries. So I have The Strangler Vine by M.J. Carter. So I purchased this because in a Book Outlet haul from a library book sale haul from sometime last year, I purchased a book and didn't realize that it was the second book in a series. And I've held on to it because I've been very interested in reading it and was like, oh, I'll just check it out from the library. Like when I decide I want to read the series, like I'll just check out book 1. But Book Outlet had book 1, so I went ahead and purchased book 1 in that series so that I can read book 2. And then the last book I have gotten so far in May is Lethal White by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. This is the 4th book in the Cormoran Strike series. I've only read book 1, but I have the rest of them now, so maybe I'll binge read the series at some point. We'll see. Those are my way more than 20 books that I have purchased since February. I don't know why I've been like in like the mood to do online book buying, but based on other videos that I've watched on BookTube, it seems like it's like a mood. Like, I don't know if it's like stress buying or what. It's a thing. It's a problem. Everything needs to like reopen quick so that, because I feel like I can control myself when I'm like at a bookstore and like physically holding the books before I take them to the like checkout. Not the case when I'm buying books online. I don't know why it's different, but it is. So we'll see if I buy any more books in May. Who knows? Hopefully not, but I make no promises. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books, or if not, if you are interested in buddy reading any of these, because I would love to read some of these books that I've recently purchased sooner rather than later. We'll see what happens. Who knows when I will get to all of these. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.